All right, I'm putting this together for a friend who wanted some information on budgeting and kind of get a start on wherever they're at. And I like to put together these spreadsheets every now and again for myself when I need to kind of reset my finances, or not if I need to reset it, but take another look at it. And I'll make these spreadsheets in different perspectives and look at the numbers from different angles, how I want to save and all of that. But I like to essentially each of the tools that I make to do this for myself are are basically blocking out my finances in terms of income, uh, necessary things that I want for my life. So, like saving, investing in education are things for me that are important, and I'm going to put that money into my any of my income is going to go towards those things. And then there are the bills that you have, and you can always separate your bills. Sometimes I do it by credit or loans that I might have open credit or debt that I have open, or sometimes I'll lump them all together as just utilities and uh, household needs or grocery needs, whatever the case may be. But I add a little bit of flexibility in there to be able to add to the accounts that I'm referencing, or the categories that I'm referencing. So this is just a basic, very raw, I've called it raw budget, um, that I have as a template, a skeleton to go through, but it has the necessities. So I'll just walk through it, and to give an idea of how maybe you can make something, or for my friend in this case, I'm sending them this workbook, and they can go ahead and look at it and update it as they need to. So basically, like I said, we've got our income separated, our important stuff separated, and then in this case, I've just got all of the things that need to be paid at the end of the month. So these are separated by this column, excuse me, identified by this column here. So you see here, in, all of these are in because it's all income. So going into the bank account, and then all of these are out, and those are because they're going out of our bank account. So things go in and things go out. And I don't have anything here, but these are all, this is all just the allocation of what's going in, um, based on percentages. And I'll show you how that works in a second, and what the obligation to that necessity is. And then at the end, so then we end up with our total monthly income, then we have our total monthly necessity, and then after taking all of the expenses, our total monthly expenses, and that leaves us with our end of month balance down here, through a calculation. So let's break this down a little bit. We'll start with the income section here. And what we have is, in this case, I've put three sources of income. You may only have one source of income. You may have zero sources of income, and you need to get some income. This is a good way to test out your budget and see what you'll need to take in to meet your expenses, if you want to use it that way, or if you already have income and know your numbers, you can go ahead and put that in as such. So let's just, in this scenario, again, just a skeleton. I'm assuming, or not assuming, but I'm using as an example, $500 in each month. We'll see frequency per month. So let's say you get a paycheck that you have a 9 to 5 job, let's say, and you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. So that paycheck is $500 every 2 weeks. So frequency per month wouldn't be once. You'd be getting $500 times two. So you're actually getting $1,000 a month. So if we just change this number to two, it does that calculation here, and we've got 1,000. What's this? And this calculation here is just to indicate whether it uses this in or out to verify whether it's a positive number or a negative number for the final balance. So if we were adjusting this, let's just say you got your first income's $500. You get paid 2 times a month. Let's just say that's through a part-time job or a full-time job. And let's say income two is maybe like a rideshare service, and you do whatever hours it is, so you get $500 a month from that. And income three is some other side hustle that you do for $500 a month. So you see here with that, your total monthly income is now $2,000. So that $2,000 then goes down into our monthly necessities. So again, I said important for me, and this is what the skeleton was based off of. So again, we can add more to it if we need to, or take things away. But saving, investing, and education, I like to look at those things in terms of payment, not necessarily by hard numbers, but as a relative to what my income is. The more that I make, then the more I can invest in myself, while also paying the other obligations that I have. So in this case, I've just set them to 1%. If and that's the bare minimum. And I think everybody should have at least 1% going to something for themselves. 1% you can see isn't a whole lot to come out, but in this case, $2,000 monthly income, 1% is $10. Well, that doesn't seem right. That math might be a little bit wrong, but I don't know math so well. And let's make sure it's coming off the wrong number. I haven't updated this, but this actually should be coming off of this number here, so we'll just change that. There, that makes more sense. All right, we'll change those back to 1% for now. But you see that it's not a whole lot every month. If you do 1% in, $20, $20, $20, total is $60. This number here represents that savings taken out of that. So basically we're saying we meet our personal expectations, our personal obligation, our obligation to ourselves. Then we come down to our payment obligations to other people, and that's where we get our monthly expenses. You can see all of these are negative numbers, and that's because there's a formula that's looking at this. It says out, therefore it turns it to a negative, and we can do the math going forward. But it's quite possible that the person I'm sharing this with doesn't have any of these things in the list. Hiscox Insurance, Netflix, T-Mobile, but maybe they have some stuff, and maybe some of these line up. But in any case, we can change the names, whatever the case may be. Excuse me, they're just labels. What's important are the numbers associated with those labels. And then the total expenses are added up here, and we've got that, which is a negative number, as you see. And then finally, we just take the end of month balance, which is an addition of the total monthly necessity plus the total monthly expenses to get our end of month balance. Ideally, what we want to do is bring that balance down to zero. So I think if we were to add some numbers in here, we could do that. We could adjust if we add to some numbers in here to fill it out a little bit. Let's just say someone's got rent of, not likely, $500. And same deal, frequency per month over here. All of these are just set to 1, but maybe you have some payments that are multiple payments throughout. And let's see, rent, utilities, we'll turn this into, let's see, we got a phone here with T-Mobile, Netflix service, Hiscox Insurance. What else is paid for off the top of my head? Car insurance. And you got loans and stuff. So let's just say we got a couple loans. We'll throw $300 a month for that loan, and we'll say you got a payment of $200 a month here. All right, so then we throw those in there, and we've got a month end of month balance of 675. That means we have $600 left over to play with. And if we don't have any, you can deal with that by uh, considering that spending money, or you could reinvest that into other things. So maybe you say, all right, I got $600 left over. I want to really tackle this SoFi loan, so I'll up this. I'll add another 600 to it. Or maybe you want a buffer. Maybe you just want to add another 500. So you say, all right, we'll change that to 800, and now the end of month balance is 175. And then you can start playing with your personal obligations here. Maybe you want to put a little bit more into education, so you start playing with that. Changes to 10%. All right, 10% is too much because it's dropped us below, so we'll bring it down to 8. Still a little too high. 7. Ooh, geez, 5. There. We'll say 5%, and then that leaves you 2075 left over. I'd say that's fine for me personally. Uh, and now I know, all right, so I'm putting in $100 a month for education. I'm putting $20 a month for investing, $20 for savings. I've got all of my expenses taken care of, and I'm accounting for all of my income. And that is my monthly budget here. So, again, not my monthly budget, but this is a skeleton and an example of how it can be adapted to whoever's needs. Again, this is for a friend of mine, so I'll be working with them as well to explain it in person. But if you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. If you'd like a copy of it, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll send you a copy of it. It's pretty straightforward. Even if you don't really know what you're doing with Excel, but it's really just made up of a few calculations here and there, adding some stuff together and slapping it onto a spreadsheet. So, thanks. Bye.